Yes. Yes. This is how you do it in best ball. Stephon Diggs, Raheem Mostert, and Alvin Kamara. You get 3 weekly starters in a start 11 best ball. Cody, are you sending away Jonathan Brooks in that 25 second to get 3 starters right now in best ball?
Hey, this is Crust Lust at its finest, guys. This is my type of deal. It says in the top, I would like this deal. I do really like this deal. Jonathan Brooks, still a very good running back, but you're going to give me 3 potential hammers. I know people are a little bit down on each of them for their own reasons, but yeah, love this one. Give me all 3 pieces.
Okay, let's get it. Bitch, let's get it. Welcome in Destination Debbie family. It's me, Ty DeClaire at Ty DeClaire 44. Today, I'm joined by Cody Smith at Cody Smith TFDR. This is the Destination Debbie Trade Show. Let's go. We're going to have a fun one tonight, Cody. We got some good little deals popping over in the Discord. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, we're doing all right. First week back from vacation. Definitely still getting into the groove of things, but I've done 3 shows now. This is the 3rd one. I'm back. I'm fully ready for football. Dead season's almost over. Ready for some training camp. But today we got the deals that we got to look back on first.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling ready to get back in these trade streets. Like I'm sending out those unsolicited offers at this point. So I'm getting itchy to make some deals. So, hey, you want your trades on this show? Patreon.com/ALLGAS. Join the best damn Dynasty community in the world or the universe even. Okay. Keep up with Destination Debbie at destinationdebbie.com and Underdog. I'm just going to plug it right now. Get on there. Use code ALLGAS. Get your special pick and first time deposit bonus up to $250. With that out of the way, Cody, speaking of Underdog, I've been drafting many of these players. Stephon Diggs, Mostert, Kamara, all usually at value. Kamara, I've cooled off a little bit on just because I've got so much of them in the February period. But Jonathan Brooks, a second. I like those players, and Jonathan Brooks I think is like arguably one of the better assets in the deal, right? Because he has the youth, like he's in a good situation, and people like him. But you're giving me Stephon Diggs, who, yeah, he joins a busy offense, but he's still Stephon Diggs. Raheem Mostert, who was only, a top 5 RB last year. And then Alvin Kamara, who's just been a hammer. I'm going to bet he's a hammer till he's not. I want the starters and the production now in a best ball. I mean, there might be context that would change my mind and change my approach. But Cody, I know you're with me here.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, like if you are going to the Jonathan Brooks in the second side, you got to be on the rebuild side, and this is the best that you can get out. If that's the case, I'm perfectly fine with it. But even if I'm in a rebuild, man, it's tough to get out of those 3 players, and all that you're getting back is this. Obviously, Raheem Mostert, like you were mentioning, I mean, he was just leading the league in touchdowns for a large majority of last year. People keep saying he's going to fall off, and he keeps going back out there and producing. I guess you could equate that for a 25-second. But then you just Jonathan Brooks and Stephon Diggs and Alvin Kamara. Like, that's a perfect win now tear down for this guy, for S-Tails or Stalis, whatever your name is out there. It's just fantastic. I do love this one. Give me that Diggs and Kamara. And I mean, for this year, I'd say both of those guys are going to outproduce Jonathan Brooks. And then you just get Raheem Mostert for a 25-second. I mean, you're winning at every facet of this deal, I think.
Yeah. And I think most people look at this and be like, I haven't seen Mostert being traded for a second anywhere, right? And if you tried to ask for that, I'm sure I would get laughed out of the trade streets. So, like, even if you're talking, I'd say like Alvin Kamara for a second. Like, I want Kamara, I'd want over the second in the way I play, but I'd call that like that. And talking Diggs and Mostert for Brooks, like, yes, Brooks is the flashier asset of the two, and the floor could fall out of Diggs and Mostert at any point. But for what they're doing for my roster, I see those as more or less the same thing. So give me the starters, give me the points, give me the construction that I can build around, and all 3 of those players can find their way into my lineup in a start 11. So really good job, S-Tails, Stales, whoever you are. You know who you are, and you know what you did. Cody, we got a lot of nice trades in here. Let's go to the bottom and then work our way up, just to really confuse ourselves. Okay. Here we go. We got Dubridge. Old Brett Dubridge in the house. 10 teams, super flex, full PPR, 1-5 tight end premium, start 10. The first is likely late. Oh, we got Jalen Polk, Terry McLaurin, Javonte Williams, and a late 2025 first belonging to Dubridge, who acquires Puka Nacua. We're talking hammers, 10 by 10, so 100 starters. Cody, are you climbing the ladder to get Puka?
I think I'm doing it for this. If all it's going to take me is a 25 back end first, Terry McLaurin, I could say is a 25 back end first. Polk and Javonte Williams aren't getting you anything more than 2 seconds potentially together. And if you're telling me in a 10 by 10, I could send 2 back end seconds, 225 first. If you were just to liquidate those straight up, and I get Puka Nacua, who's a top 7 dynasty wide receiver right now. If I go over to KTC, I believe he's still up there. Yeah, 10 by 10. I don't care what I'm sending. Send the 4 by 1. Don't care. Smash on Puka.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Polk is worth 2 seconds alone just for that facial hair in the picture, but I agree. Like Javonte, Polk, like you could mash them together, maybe get a couple seconds. A late first on top of Terry McLaurin, while like for how I like to play wide receiver, I don't need to climb up all the way. But and Terry McLaurin, I went over on the last show, right? There's a very, very flat tier wide receiver. I don't mind swimming in those waters, but Puka Nacua is just different. And people want Puka to fail. I'm not there. I know it feels weird to send a first and a player and a player and a player to a guy who you could have acquired for fab at one point in his career, right? It feels off, but Puka Nacua is a hammer, and in a 10 by 10 league, this is absolutely something that I'd be willing to do if I have a team. Now, if that first projects early, that's a different story. That's not really the deal I'm trying to make. I'm not saying like Polk and McLaurin and that just to consolidate into a rookie wide receiver, or not a sophomore wide receiver now, who again, people are just, they're not firm on him because he never got the draft capital. And for some people, that's always going to be a sticking point in their minds.
Long as Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay are there, I don't even care if Cooper Kupp is healthy for all 17 games. He's going to be an integral part of that offense, and he's going to be running that team out of the slot, out wide as well. Yeah, and I mean, Dubridge is sending away his own 25 first year, so he should know the validity of his own team. Probably all of these guys that he's throwing into the deal as well are just depth pieces that he had. It's 10 by 10, man. You can't really say much else.
Exactly. Good work, Brett. And back to Dubridge. We got a couple here. Man, look how big Malik Neighbors' face is in this picture. That's funny. We got 12-team Superflex full PPR, 1-5 tight end premium, start 10. The first are mid to late. Okay. So Dubridge sent away Michael Penix, a 2025 first and a 2026 first, both his own. And he got back Malik Neighbors and Kirk Cousins. So the Atlanta quarterback swap, and then 2 firsts, just mortgaging the future on Malik Neighbors. That's interesting. We've talked a bit. I know that you're not the biggest Penix guy, right? You're not the number one leader in the Penix clubhouse, but you've colored up a little bit, and I think we can agree. When he has the chance to start, people are going to like him, and I bet you could probably get a first at that point. Kirk Cousins is projected to start 1.5 caps and all. Does he remain the starter? The contract says more likely yes. So you're betting on 2024 with him for sure. The difference between that, I think it truly depends on your team direction and your risk tolerance, or how much you can eat that zero on Penix, right? Like one way or the other. You're talking 2 firsts for Malik Neighbors. I mean, I would trade a 2025 first and a 2026 first that I'm projecting mid to late, like they're on my own. I like my team to trade up to get a Malik Neighbors in the draft, I'm assuming, right? If I had to just buy it outright. So I'm taking Malik Neighbors and Kirk Cousins here, but I get the other side. And if my team is not set up to go, and I know that Malik Neighbors isn't going to be that piece that sets me apart from other teams, I'll just take Penix in the 2 first and say, I'm just going to keep building this bet and just keep rolling it over and over. What do you think?
This actually correlates a lot to the last one that he made in the last deal that we just went over. Obviously, these are 2 very directional sides here when you're basically, I could just wash Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix at this point if you're going for the win versus going for the long-term game here. Obviously, like this bottom side is here. So Penix, and I broke it down the same way, 25 first, 26 first for Malik Neighbors at that point. I'm going to take the top side here, especially for Dubridge, and I think this is probably a pretty square deal for both of these sides. The only thing that I would say here is, like, if we're going for it, and if these firsts are projecting mid-late, is Neighbors really the piece that we want? Like, I get that he has the upside, and I get that he's vaulted up in fantasy rankings right now and dynasty rankings right now. But could you get something more like of what you just did in the bottom side, where we're getting something like a Diggs, or we're getting not Diggs if you were going to put 2 firsts into it, obviously, but give me just like an AJ Brown or something that's I know is going to produce for me right away. Maybe I go that way first, but you probably are a little bit limited with the assets you can do within this trade. Maybe you could have broken it up into 2 trades, is all I could have said. Like if you could just swap the Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix and then send the 2 firsts elsewhere, maybe you could do that. But obviously you have to work with what you got.
Yeah, if I'm hearing you correctly, the deal's fine. Like you got the players you wanted, and you probably got the value too. But there's probably a way that you could have done the same thing, acquired like the same thing in your wide receiver room for 2024, and still maybe had one of those first in your back pocket, right? You didn't have to maybe find a deal with that. Or if you're going to send that, maybe there was a better deal, or like you said, just maybe a smaller deal here or there. But all in all, I don't have any problems with it. But always be open to was there a better thing on the table, or is there a way to maximize, the value here and there? So,
yeah, I mean, Neighbors is still a liquid asset. You could still move Neighbors if you wanted to. I'm honestly looking at KTC right now. AJ Brown, Malik Neighbors are back to back. But if I'm on the win now, right now, I'll just take AJ Brown.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Now, can you down tier from Neighbors to one of those options and go Devontae Smith plus something like that? Like, I'd be kind of interested there. So good work there. And then. All right, we got 12-team Superflex full PPR 1-5 tight end premium start 10. First is mid to late, but it's the first year. Okay, so we're right after startup. This is a league where like assets are still being decided on. People are still choosing directions. So Dewbridge acquired Terry McLaurin, Justin Herbert, and the 2025 first. They sent away Josh Allen, Bucky Irving, your boy, Bucky Irving, and a 2025 third. I mean, the Josh Allen of it all is always going to be the conversation of 12 by 10, right? He is the hammeristy hammer of the hammers. You got Herbert coming back. You got a first, and you got Terry McLaurin. I mean, Cody, is the gap to Josh Allen, is it Herbert and a first, or do you need more? And then just where do you come down here?
This is an interesting one because as you alluded to, 2 of my favorite players in Dynasty right now are Josh Allen, or my favorite player in Dynasty is probably Josh Allen, and then my favorite rookie coming out of this draft was Bucky Irving. So it's going to be a little bit of a difficult one for me to get there on this top side for Dewbridge right here. But I still like Justin Herbert a lot more than consensus does. I do think right now you're probably going to want more than just a straight up first, but you're getting Terry McLaurin, and obviously I can admit to Bucky Irving in a third. I would say doesn't even equal Terry McLaurin. So now we've just got to decide what the delta is there between those 2 sides. I'm still going to lean just because of my love for Josh Allen, and I think he's by far and away the best player in all of Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'm going to lean the bottom side, but I have come around a little bit to liking some Terry McLaurin. I do still like Justin Herbert. I like the first. But this is a close one for me. It just depends on what that delta is between Terry McLaurin and the 2 other pieces, I think, and if that bridges the gap between Justin Herbert to Josh Allen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sending Bucky Irving in a third all day to get Terry McLaurin, and like I'm in the same boat. Like I loved having Terry McLaurin on some of my teams. I think he fills a role for. I don't think his value is appropriate right now. So I'm there. There is some spillover from Terry. If you're getting a 25 first and Cody, so if you're coming out of a startup, right? So we haven't even played a game in this league yet. Like, again, teams are still making moves. There's a lot of undecides, a lot of unknowns. It's June 27th as we record today. Those picks aren't really going to have a number to them until at least December. How much is getting that first now and just playing with variance on your side and just betting that, hey, having that first now, even if it does end up being late, I can still do things with it now with the mystery box appeal. But there's also many things that Nathy Poo manager could do wrong. And let's see here, it's at Suga on the bottom side. It's not Nathy Poo. So this is an absolute random first, right? Compared to this deal. So giving them Josh Allen is not impacting that first at all. How much does that change like a value of a first for you?
Right now, with the randomness of it, I actually still really do like acquiring first round picks, especially in startups. Even if I'm on a win now team, you can still trade back. And if things break right for you, invest all of those in at the end of the season because there's still going to be a market. I really do like in the startups getting and acquiring extra first. I don't know if I do it with my quarterbacks and the absolute locked in position of my team though. Like that's the one thing. Like if I have a 101 and I'm able to get Josh Allen, that's probably the one thing that I'm trying to anchor and build my entire team around. And I don't know if that's the way that I want to acquire the first. But to the overall question, yes, I actually really do like the trade back strategy. Chase and I on Overreaction just did the draft where we were drafting, and you couldn't draft anybody in the top 10 at your position on the board. And he still built out a team in a mock that was still very competitive. So like you can easily trade back, acquire more first, and still build a win now team. Just for this one, and I'm going to be player influenced here. It's just Josh Allen for me, and it's a hard task to acquire him. I know the quarterback value overall is down right now across Dynasty Fantasy Football, but I still think he's far and away the best one, and this just doesn't bridge the gap enough for me.
That's fair. I think that the Dubridge side of this deal is the deal that could have the best closing line value. Right, Herbert could, and Herbert going into 2025, I can already see the projection going up. Like I already see it, right? So if your team is aligned where you want to just get a little more insurance, see if you can just get some value to say, okay, I'm just going to take the process and build this thing out. Herbert a first and then Terry McLaurin, that makes a lot of sense to me. I do think that the Josh Allen side of it, like the raw, just hammer side of it, like, yeah, I would want that side, especially when I'm trying to compete and I trust where my team is at. Because like you said, you got 101, man. Like that thing is worth something. And Herbert a first and then McLaurin, the first can't be 112. It can't be the clear champions pick, right? So the way he waited here, mid to late, it's the first year. So who really knows? There's no conviction in that. That is a truly random first. Terry McLaurin, I think you can do something with that, whether your team is a dark horse contender or you can move that to a contender in season. And Justin Herbert, I don't mind taking the bet on him having an ascension, whether it be midseason or into next year. I like the options that Dubridge weaved into his team out of a startup making this deal. Raw value, give me Josh Allen. Like if I had to say this is my team, give me Josh Allen. But on any team that I'm trying to build some future value in, I'm taking Brett's side. So
I can agree there.
Yep. Good work, Dubridge. Okay, I think we got through all of Brett's deals. So we're moving on. Okay, we're gonna hit before we get to this one, we're gonna hit this barn burner and Rumble.
Oh yeah.
You can't see that on YouTube. I'm gonna read this thing out. So Ben Mason, good old Ben Mason. He gave up his 2025 third and I sent away that Jonnu Smith. This is Royal Rumble. It's a 28 team, 2-copy, Superflex, best ball, some juice tight end scoring. Cody, a third in Jonnu. We can spend probably 20 minutes talking this thing out. How do you feel?
Oh, this one has so many layers. It's like ogres, man. I don't know. I mean, absolute barn burner, right? But just give me the random third, I guess. Like the tight end premium isn't juiced enough. It's not start 2 here, right? Like maybe if it was to start 2 and you had the juice, sure, this is a pretty meaningless deal in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, I guess Jonnu Smith could go out there and absolutely smash in an offense that has never really used the position like that before with all of their guys, even in the past regimes. I'd just take the random third, honestly. I'd still like Jonnu, but I liked him whenever he was with Arthur Smith a lot more than I do whenever he's on Miami.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much how I felt. Like for Ben, I feel like if you get 1.5 starts out of Jonnu, right? If he hits your tight end once and in the flex once, that's probably worth a third, right? So he doesn't need a lot to go right to make that go right. But for me, I had too many tight ends. I needed to build in some more options, especially going into the season at quarterback. I just traded my third and fourth to get Aiden O'Connell. Right, so I figured get another third in my pocket. I can attack that range again if and when something opens up. Right, so it made sense to me just to get into the third there with where my team was at. I didn't need the Jonnu, and Ben likes Jonnu, so we got something done.
Yeah, pretty cut and clear dry.
Yeah, and then Ben went and made a much bigger deal. And this is with your co-host at Trophy Chase. So I'm gonna need your take on this. I know that Chase has been in your DMs about this one. So Ben Mason sent away CeeDee Lamb to Chase, and Chase sent away Devin Singletary, Alvin Kamara, and Tyreek Hill. So again, 28 team, 2-copy, best ball, super flex. Where you come down on this one, Cody?
So, yeah, he was in the DMs about this one. Unfortunately, I was on vacation, so I looked at it and put my phone right back down and never replied once. So this was made all on his own volition. I like this one. I like this one on both sides. Obviously, Chase is trying to tear down and get a little bit younger with a little bit more premium assets here. It is still a 3-for-1 in best ball, which we know normally doesn't get happen, but it gets made for the type of player that CD Lamb is. The big thing here is just it's going to be Tyreek Hill, and you get Alvin Kamara. And what's our third piece in this one? As I'm blanking on the name,
Devin Singletary, Alvin Kamara, Tyreek Hill.
I mean, you're getting 3 locked-in starters probably here. So I like this one on Ben's side. I understand it from Chase's side as well. Just knowing where both of these teams are, though, I've been telling Chase that he shouldn't be leaning into this one as much. So I'm actually going to take Ben's side here. You got to get in a best ball start 11. I'm going to take the 3 assets, honestly, and they're all producing for me. Tyreek Hill has as good of a chance of any just to outproduce CD Lamb this year. I get why the deal was made, but I'm going to take Ben's on this one.
Yep. No, that's exactly where I was at with it. Chase's team needed some more sustainability. They redlined it for 2 years, right? It worked. For the most part, they won once and came close the next time, right? You'd bonked their team in the playoffs, but yeah. So get into a CD Lamb asset. I like that for Chase, and I think that he can do a lot with that Chase as well. He has Chase, Laporta now, so he's built in some more sustainability into his team. But we're talking best ball, we're talking start 11, and like I said, so Kamara, Singletary, Hill. Again, 3 starters in a start 11 type league. So that means a lot to me, and for Ben, it makes a lot of sense just adding and flexing out. But all of the floors could fall out on all of those assets. And at the end of the year, you'd want CD Lamb hand over fist, right? So that's the risk, right? And that's why Ben was able to extract 3 starters out of it, because there is risk with those starters. And for Chase, he removed that risk from himself from what we know, right? He got into CD Lamb, a good place to park his money. So I liked the deal a lot. I think it's going to spark a couple more deals in this league, the way we know Rumble works. So I liked it.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, if you're just looking straight up like pick value, cash value that you're extracting from CD Lamb here, and what you could get 1-for-1 for each of those pieces that he traded away, like you're smashing in value here. Yeah, because I don't think you're getting much more than a first in this league. I don't think you're getting much more than a first for Tyreek, and then probably a second for each of those running backs if you're lucky.
Right. Yep. No, absolutely. But I mean, if you're looking pure production, how different is Hill and CD at the end of the day?
Absolutely, right? None for 1 year.
Yeah. So if you're a contender and you're saying, to hell with this value, just give me the starters now in June. Yeah, get it done. So good bet. I want to see. I'm excited to see how that one plays out in the long term here. Okay, here we go. DO. Okay, we got a 12-team Superflex 6-point passing touchdown PPR. Right? 6-point pass. Yep. PPR 0.5 tight end premium. Lamar is the new quarterback 1 to pair with Trevor Lawrence. So DO sent away David Montgomery, Brock Purdy, and their own 2025 first. And they got into that Lamar Jackson. So Lamar Jackson, a hammer for sure. Really, I think I heard Shane talking about it. Really, really impressed me last year. Really, I think he took a step as a quarterback. He overcame situation. He sucked it out, got his contract. I really like Lamar going forward for sure. But Brock Purdy, just as impressive. Like, does a lot of things right. Is he up to Lamar Jackson's level in Dynasty? Absolutely not. Would I trade away my Lamar Jackson for Brock Purdy in a first? On the right team, yeah, right. Like especially if I just want to extract some value, that's not a bad, depending on the first. And then you're adding David Montgomery, who is again, it's a win now bet, at least a second in my opinion. So I like the value side of this side, right? To get Purdy, D-Mont in a first, but that might just be the price for Lamar Jackson.
Might have to be. I think the only problem that I have with this one is you sent away the wrong quarterback. You could have paired Lamar Jackson with your Brock Purdy and probably could have paid a little bit less on top of Trevor Lawrence to go get to Lamar Jackson as well. I have those two. I mean, there's a legitimate story that you could tell me where I would just rather have Brock Purdy straight up over T-Law, even with the contract that T-Law just got. And I know that's going to spur some T-Law action here and probably bump him up a little bit. But for me, the difference isn't that much between the two. And honestly, I'm not going to say that the dynasty market isn't going to value Trevor Lawrence. You can pick whichever one you want, but I think there might have been another move that you could have made there. I still like the side of Lamar Jackson, though. We were in a 6 point per passing touchdown league. We're looking at the pick, as I'm seeing up here, might end up 109 or later. I'm thinking that's what we're looking at here.
We're hoping that becomes
hoping
109 or later.
109.
Not a lot of conviction and hope.
Finished short last year, I guess is what we're trying to say. So I like where we're at with this one, though. I do like the value still to get to Lamar Jackson. He's the top 5 quarterback for me. And even in a 6 point per passing touchdown, obviously some guys are going to get up there, but I still really love what Lamar Jackson brings to the table. I like the value here. I'm personally just player conviction, probably would have left with stuck with Brock Purdy instead and then traded away T-Law to do the deal. But if you have the conviction the other way, I can't fault this at all.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's the way I would probably play it too, is try to send away that Lawrence and keep the Purdy if that's the way I'm going. But really, I'm not going to let it David Montgomery hold up a deal, right? So if I was willing to do it for that, I might as well just do it for that. So you got your guy, and I hope that works out for you. Good work. Okay, Conja, we got a paragraph here. Okay, it's a 1 quarterback league, but it's a home league. 10 teams start 9, 1 quarterback, 1.5 PPR. No tight end premium, and a 6 point passing touchdown. Okay, Cody, 1 quarterback raid. Okay, we're on 1 quarterback land. He had 101, 13, 14, 15, and 9. He went Marv, Rome, and Bowers, and then made a deal. So he sent away. Let me see if this is going to be so small. Oh my God, why is everything so small this week? So he sent away Brian Thomas Jr. at 105 and 19, which ended up being Keon Coleman, 301 and a 25 third. He got back 1-6 and 1-7, which ended up being Jonathan Brooks and Caleb Williams. So 1 quarterback league. This is just start there.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr., Keon Coleman, and 2/3 for Jonathan Brooks and Caleb Williams. 1 quarterback. How do you feel?
I better not have a quarterback on my roster. Like I better be playing with Drew Lock and Mac Jones if I'm trying to play Caleb. If I'm trying to get Caleb here, honestly. 1 QB. If I have anything in the top like 15 of quarterbacks, I don't think I'm doing this one. Obviously, the 301 and the 25 third are basically useless pieces here, though. I don't know if it's. I mean, 105 and 109. I'm not a big fan of Coleman, obviously. Brooks probably has a legitimate more side of an upside shot to actually be an impact in this league, even more so than Brian Thomas, just because of how shallow this is, only 90 starters. So I like it on that side. The 301 and the 25 third, I don't even really care about. But I still might just take the upside shot on Brian Thomas and Coleman, depending on what my quarterback room looked like beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, so the 2/3, I'm not letting that hold up a deal. I will send those if it gets things done. Not a lot of value there in the thirds, but yeah, I mean, on the right team and in this league, really, I can see myself taking Brooks over Brian Thomas Jr. So I'm fine crossing that out. Like, I don't care if I can extract any value from going down that 1 pick and still getting the player that I want. Cool. Yeah, like Keon Coleman probably isn't the guy that I'm going with at 1.9. Caleb Williams, you said it perfectly. I better have a plan, right? He better be my quarterback 1 and starting when like right out the gate. I don't need a backup plan. I don't need insulate. Like I have Caleb if that's the case. So if you're set up right, sure, give me the 1-6, 1-7. If you're not, though, that does feel like you're maybe wasting a little bit of value in Caleb. So you have to have a plan with that Caleb if you're taking that on. I don't mind having 2/3 to try to get another deal done, but what have you. Then Conja went and did another deal. So it's a 3-way deal. Again, I'm going to try and bring this up. It's very small. So Conja sent away their 2025 second, the 104, which that was Bowers.
Yeah, I would just read it from here. We got both sides up here.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Sent away Bowers, Caleb, and that later 25 second. You got back Kyler, McBride, the 308, and the 25 third. So there's those thirds right back in your pocket from the first deal. You move into Kyler and McBride. So again, same conversation between Caleb and Kyler. Like, have a plan with that. But I like moving into Kyler, and I like getting McBride. I feel like you upgraded at tight end. You passed the torch or upgraded in quarterback. You sent away a second, but then you kind of just negated the extra value you gave him in the first deal. How do you feel here?
I didn't hate that first side, but then we get to this second side, and you totally redeem yourself. You win it. You win at every point of this. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you make this deal happen. I mean, obviously, we were saying you needed to draft Caleb with a plan. If the plan was to go get Kyler and McBride on a stack, and you get both better pieces than Caleb and Bowers, in my mind, you won the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter what you did at the first one. If I didn't like it or not, you ended up with this, and this is fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic job. Really, really enjoyed that, Conja. You killed it. Everyone give Conja his flowers in the comments. Good work, buddy. All right. We already killed that deal. There's Cody giving us that. Oh my God. I don't care about the context. Bud means a 2026 first round pick and a 2025 second being sent away to get that dang Wicks. I'll tell you what, Wicks is a hot name on the market right now. To Packers fans, apparently a little bit more. There's no way in hell I'm sending a single first for Wicks, let alone a second. And I guess Bud means, Cody, come on.
Can we scroll up before I get into this one? I need to see the name. Okay, not the same name that I'm seeing on the sleeper tag. So, what the hell are we doing here? I don't understand. This is I wouldn't reverse this. I would not veto it, but this is one of the trades that is worthy of veto. Yeah. It wouldn't be in any league that I play in because we don't do that. And I get it's just a Packers fan wanting himself some Wicks, but you don't do this. Like, this is, I mean, we always say this, like, it's going to be league altering. It's going to do so much damage. And then Wicks is going to end up being the wide receiver one for Jordan Love for the next 6 years and become Devontae Adams. Right. So, if you have the conviction, I guess go and do it. And if you can extract this much value out of somebody, by all means, go ahead and do it. But this is horrible at market value right now.
Yeah, if Dontayvion Wicks becomes Devontae Wicks, sure, we can talk. But I'm not doing it. So thanks for that laugh, Shanti. MJ Walsh, patreon.com/ALLGAS. Get on in here. Come on. We don't bite. All right, Rumbero. I don't know. I want to put a little bit of like English on that one, but I don't know, whatever. So 12 teams start 12. 12 teams start 12, Cody. Superflex, PPR, 6-point passing touchdown. We got a startup trade. So 102, which ended up being Mahomes, was sent away for 104, which ended up being Hurts and a 2025 first. Cody, we don't got to get too deep into this thing. An extra first on top of Mahomes to stay in more or less the same tier at quarterback. You have to have some real conviction there, huh?
You'd certainly better, or you're one of those people that's playing for 15 years of Dynasty League and what you think Mahomes is going to be for you. And we certainly don't play that way. You don't even get my 101 in Josh Allen, which is basically what we were saying to do in this previous deal we talked about in the show with Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert is well outside of the range that Jalen Hurts is currently right now in my personal rankings and in KTC as well. This is where you just acquire that free 25 first and you trade back a little bit. This is how you do it in my mind. Love this one.
Yeah, this is the blueprint. If you can get this done, that's incredible. And invite me to the league, please.
I mean, would you even like a second instead? Like
right. Like not? I don't need a lot at all to go from Mahomes to Hurts. Like, you're giving me a little bit of value on top, sure. Like a first? Are you kidding me? Yeah. Just started the league. Those firsts were burning a hole in your pocket, huh?
Had to be.
Special K got a 12-team start 11 4-point passing touchdown. Got the Daniels side. So Jaden Daniels in a 2025 first. Stop blocking out the names, people. Yeah, Caleb Williams in 2/3. Yeah. So essentially, if we're talking, rookie pick value, 101 to 103. So 101 and 2/3 for 103, 104 and a first, right? Somewhere in that range. I'm doing that every single time. Caleb Daniels. I'll say Caleb is going to be the one that outproduces him. I think Caleb's in the better offense for sure. I think Jaden Daniels can put up crooked fantasy numbers, and I think that it's really a coin flip between the two. Who's going to outproduce the other fantasy wise? Sure, give me the first over 2/3 any day.
What Dynasty show was out there this last week saying, hey, just swap your quarterbacks and throw in random first round picks in 2025? Because that feels like all we're talking about tonight. Yeah. And if you're going to give me, the difference in value between Caleb and Daniels, I know Caleb is the next all-worldly quarterback, but so is Trevor Lawrence at one point, and he's down in the teens and dynasty ranks as well. Jaden Daniels could easily outscore him year one, and if he does, you know who's going to be higher in dynasty ranks next year? It's going to be Jaden Daniels. So I'll take my free first, send away 2/3 to get it, and I'll walk away happy.
Yeah. And to add insult to injury, it's a 4-point passing touchdown league, right? So the format leans and brings Daniels up even a little bit more. So, no, it's obviously ideal to do this. If you can do this, great. You can have conviction on Caleb, but don't bet your first to do it. Come on now. Dumpy Space brings us a 14-team start 10 Superflex PPR league. It's a 0.5 point per carry, and you get a point for first downs and +1 big play bonuses. They have May as well, so they got a little rookie stack with Jalen Polk, and they also brought in Jonathan Brooks in a 2025 second. They sent away Justin Fields, Tank Bigsby, and Xavier Worthy. Cody, Tank Bigsby doesn't add much at all in any kind of deal for me. So it's one of those like negative value things where I have to look around it, and I'll probably cut after the deal if I need to kind of assets. But Justin Fields, I've kept my ear to the streets on Justin Fields in the offseason, and some people still aren't moving that guy for a first. Some people think he's the backup. He's not worth anything. So really depends on your manager. Xavier Worthy, I like Xavier Worthy a lot. I think he's near in that like flat ass wide receiver range where you can swap some names around. I think he's at least there. But then on the other side, you got Jalen Polk and a second. And I mean, Jalen Polk in a second, that could be my, I want to get out on Xavier Worthy before I even see a snap. Jalen Polk in a second might do it for me. Jonathan Brooks and Justin Fields, team dependent, but I'll take Brooks because I bet he scores points first, and I can do something with that asset first versus the Fields bet. But I mean, Justin Fields and Xavier Worthy is a damn good package. Cody, how do you feel here?
So I broke this one down a little bit of a different way than you did. I went straight to Justin Fields here. Obviously, I wasn't ever the biggest Fields guy, but I do acknowledge that if he gets back on the field, he's going to have a jump in value. But I actually crossed him off with the Jalen Polk and the 25 second. I think that's about fair. If you want to throw 2 seconds, Justin Fields, I think you could do that. Obviously, his value is going to fluctuate wildly, but I'm okay with that here. Tank Bigsby, look, I'm just washing him out. I honestly think that it could be Dearness Johnson who is getting carries over him whenever Travis Etienne needs a spell.
It could be you that's getting carries over Tank Bigsby. Like, you never know.
No, I think I'm breaking in one play out there with how my body holds up. But then I look at Brooks and Worthy. And I'm not the biggest Worthy fan, honestly. He drops a little bit lower for me than he does for most people. But that doesn't matter because of one thing that was up in the comments here. 0.5 point per carry and 1 for first downs. This is not close. It is Brooks over Worthy in this format. And so this absolutely just blows it away for me that I'm taking the receive side.
Yeah, this format matters here, right? It's a 14-team league as well, which, has to give a little bit more to Justin Fields, where he is a quarterback.
And you get rushing on quarterback. You get rushing on the quarterback probably as well. So that helps him too. Yep.
So when Justin Fields does start, he's going to smash more than likely for fantasy purposes, right? So that's always been the bet on Fields, is when he starts, he's going to smash. So you're kind of putting the foot down saying, I'm going to get this Fields production at some point. And hopefully the same thing for Xavier Worthy. But I agree. Like, for me, you got to take the Brooks side just for the point per carry side. And then you're pocketing Polk and the second. Just you're taking the insurance a bit there. I like that. I like what you can do there. But I think it's a really good deal because I can tell myself both sides.
Yeah, it's basically just going to be if Justin Fields, I mean, Worthy could obviously go out and smash and be Mahomes' wide receiver one. Like, that's definitely in the cards too. But I think for the send side, for me, it's all going to depend on if Justin Fields ever returns his value. And that's not where I want to stack my chips right now. I'll go the other side. So, but that's like one for you, Dumpy Space.
Yeah, but that's the bet, right? And that's, and that's why sometimes Fields is hard to move because people are dug in saying this is going to happen. And that's why I'm holding him. So if you're going to move Fields, that's probably the price in my mind is something like that. So in a 14-teamer, I think it's a really good deal. But give me the Brooks side, but it's a good deal. All right, 10x9, 1 quarterback league, 1 quarterback brain. Here we go. 0.5 PPR, contending roster. Cooper Kupp, or a 26-second and a 25-second? Cody, yeah, they're seconds. Yeah, sure. Cup's old. Give me Cup in a 10x9.
If it was 2 firsts, I might still take Cooper Cup in this format. It's a 10x9. Yeah, give me Cooper Cup. I wouldn't actually for 2 firsts, but give me Cooper Cup.
If you're in a 10x9 one quarterback league with Cody, send him that offer. Put his feet to the fire. Yeah, contending roster. You're just aligning yourself there. Good work. Okay, Scott A. Shouts out to Scott. Really, really sharp manager. 12 teams, Superflex PPR, and 2-point tight end premium. He's a contender, wanted some extra draft capital, and never wanted to start Flowers. So he sent away Zay Flowers and Brandon Ayuk. Got back Mike Evans and a 2025 first. So got that extra draft capital. We don't know anything about the Oregon Ducks in fantasy. We can probably say real life stuff a little more clear, but fantasy, no clue on what the Oregon Ducks here are doing. But Ayuk and Zay Flowers have a lot of hope, a lot of ADV. Ayuk is a air yards god. But Mike Evans has done the damn thing. If I'm not mistaken, he's your favorite player, is he not?
We got the jersey up right over there. So,
yeah. And then you get
one of my favorites.
We'll call it a random 25 first. We didn't get any conviction there. I mean, you're getting your favorite player in a random first, Cody. Are you doing that for Brandon Ayuk and Zay Flowers?
I actually want a little bit of context on the first. I think I can swap Evans and Zay Flowers out and how I value those guys right now. Evans obviously still being in Tampa, but is getting to that wrong side of 30 cliff age that it could fall off at any point. But I still really like Brandon Ayuk. I hope he stays in San Francisco because he does probably need that efficiency that he survives with right now. If it's going to be the same style of like lowest passing attempts in the league, but that's how he wins. That's how he survives as that outside X. I want a little bit of I think it's square. I think it's fair. But honestly, if that first projects mid to late, I'll probably actually go Brandon Ayuk and Zay Flowers. If it projects mid to early, I'd probably go Evans and the 25 first. It's a directional one for me, but I like the deal pretty square.
Okay. So pure conviction bet on the first then. And I think the way Dynasty, I agree that Zay Flowers and Mike Evans, I sent Ben, shouts out to Ben. He's just getting all the pub on the show. I sent him Keenan Allen for Zay Flowers and Royal Rumble Royal Rumble. I think or HCV, one of those leagues. I sent that deal just to get into the asset that's producing now. Scott's doing that now in June, right? And again, I like taking the Mike Evans bet, so I have no problem doing that. But Brandon Ayuk, I do think that he is worth that convicted first. It can't be any first. I'm not there on Ayuk, so I'm there with you. It does come down to where that first is at. Scott, I'd love to know more, but the way that you're writing this out, if Flowers was never entering your lineup, Mike Evans is going to slot right into where you were putting Brandon Ayuk, and you're just putting that first in your back pocket. So sounds like you had a team where adding that first, adding that flexibility probably does more than what the names say in a trade. So, yeah.
Like where we're at.
I like it too.
Ooh.
All right, here we go. Duck U had a big startup trade here. 12 teams, start 11, Superflex, PPR, start 2 tight ends, and a 0.75 tight end premium. This is going to be tiny, so I'm going to read it out here. So Loch Ness traded for the 211, 212, and it had their own 301, and they also acquired 303 as well. So this guy made a bunch of deals in the startup to prioritize the corner. They took Gibbs, Kincaid, McBride, and Pitts with those picks. So really just cornered that market of elite tight ends and Gibbs. But to get into that 211, they sent away the 1101, the 412, their 2025 second, the 703, and a 2025 second. God, it looks so busy on Sleeper. I have a pet peeve when Sleeper sends things all busy. Anyways, that's an absolute side tangent. Not getting into that. What Duck U did, they turned Jahmyr Gibbs into Kelsey, a 2025 first, Christian Watson, and 2 2025 seconds. Coming out of a startup, I want flexibility. I don't want my direction chosen for me. I like what Loch Ness did with their team and how they just really cornered the market at tight end, but they paid a pretty penny to do so. And I mean, Kelsey in a first, let's see. So Kelsey, where does Kelsey cross off in this trade? You have to add to Kelsey to cross off something in that, to get Never mind. I'm looking at the Kincaid McBride. It's not even a part of it. It's not even a part of it. Yeah, what I'm saying.
The market was cornered so bad that you had to go up for Kelce here, is I think your context.
Yeah, so they took Kelce at one of the picks, right? At one of the picks, which is great seeing how the board fell. But yeah, you basically got Kelce at first, Christian Watson in 2 seconds for Gibbs. Yeah, give me the package. Like I don't really overly like Christian Watson, but I'll take that a first, 2 seconds, and Kelce in a cornered tight end market to give up that Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all that we're talking about here,
that's literally it.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, okay. See, it's a 5-for-1 deal where Duck U then finagled their assets to turn it into Kelce a first, Christian Watson in 25 seconds.
In that format, that is well worth it. It's almost worth it in any format. I might actually say it is worth it in any format.
Pretty much. Then no words. All right, White Locust didn't give us any context, but they sent away Travis Kelce and Lamar Jackson, and they got back Kyler Murray, a 2025 first, and Chris Godwin. Lamar to Kyler, I'll give the hat tip to Lamar, but Kyler's not far away. He's definitely not a first value away. Cody, I wish we knew the tight end premium here, but where do you come down? Lamar and Kelce, or Murray the first and Chris Godwin?
As this is a trade that's in the vacuum of vacuums, right? I'm just going to say that it's Kyler Murray and the 25 first for Lamar Jackson. Let's just say it's like super late. We're getting Kelce on this side, and it's going from the bottom side to the top side, right? So we're in this all win now mode. We need this Travis Kelce right here. So if it's a 110 to 112, I could actually see it being worth a first in separation between the two quarterbacks. Then give me Kelce over Godwin. I don't know what the tight end premium is, but even in vacuum, I could see that for the win now team. I'll take Sen's side here.
Yep. No, I can see that for sure. And like you said, you're betting your own first, right? So you're choosing your direction. I think that Kyler and Lamar, there's going to be weeks where Kyler outscores Lamar. There's going to be weeks where Lamar outscores Kyler. I'll bet on Lamar being the one that outscores everything. Kelce, I think, is going to be a positional difference maker. I pray that he doesn't go into like load management mode, until week 15, right? I pray that in the Dynasty playoffs, at least he's cracking at that point, right? But Chris Godwin's not nothing. If this is a no tight end premium league, I'll probably just take my chances on Godwin there. But if it's like a 1.5, 1.75 or more, like I think Kelce side is where I'm leaning there. So I like getting a first, but I can tell myself the Lamar and Kelce side on a win now team.
Yeah. Just don't have any context. I could easily flip to the other side. I'll argue for the Sen side here, but I could easily go the other way without any hesitation.
Yeah. I just feel like I'm saying yes on the Kyler side of so many trades right now. I want to be a little bit different, even in my own little portfolio of trade analysis. So, okay, let's find one more here. Let's jump to the bottom. We've had some more hit the, oh God, what have I done? What have I done? Girth. We don't have that in us here. Girth, I'm gonna reply to that in the Discord after we're done here. All right. Here's a busy one. Ooh. 12-team PPR, lineup, start 10, 175 tight end premium. Robbie Boss got DK Metcalf in a 2025 second. They sent away Hollywood Brown, Blake Corum, Jalen Wright, and 2 2025 thirds. Whew, okay, so Hollywood Brown, some people think he's going to be Kansas City wide receiver 1. No doubt. You're crazy for trading him for anything less than a first. I'm not there, but I want Hollywood to do well. Blake Corum, people really want Kyron to fail, and you've been on the one sending away Corum to get Kyron, and I love that for you. Jalen Wright, spicy Miami offense. Hopefully not the reason people are trying to pull the ripcord on Raheem Mostert, but I digress. And 2/3. DK Metcalf, chronically just a wide receiver 1 week with some wide receiver 2s. Like, he's a good wide receiver. You get the second. Where do you come down on this one, Cody?
I start by crossing off the 25 second and Blake Corum. I think he's typically been going in that mid-second round, at least in 2024 drafts. Now, obviously, you'd probably prefer, most people would, just to go straight into 2025 liquid mode so you can invest it somewhere else. But I'd cross those two off, and then you're looking at Hollywood, Jalen Wright, third, and a third for Metcalf. For me, 12-team start 10 is going to be pretty just flat tier here. The thirds don't provide much value. Jalen Wright, while I love him and he was my running back one in the pre-draft process, I like him too. I actually do like Hollywood Brown a lot more than most people do. I think he has a shot to be over Xavier Worthy, at least in year one. Obviously, it's going to be the health bet, though, right? And he hasn't ever really shown us that he could do that. There's so much that I want to hope for, and there's so much hopium on this right side. But man, it's so much easier to just go with DK Metcalf in the second. And I'm going to say that that's the way you should lean. But I'd be very tempted if this came into my inbox on the send side too. So yeah, I'm going to take DK Metcalf in the second because it's right process to do so. But I like the send side too.
There's so much stuff on the right side of this deal, right? That it should equal a lot. I like a lot of the names in there, but it kind of feels like, when you make a sandwich, right? And the tomatoes in there and you got everything stacked up. It's a really nice creation. You spend a lot of time on it and you go to bite into it and the tomato just shoots out and then your sandwich is a little bit ruined there. It feels like, one, I don't want to split my DK Metcalf in a liquid second into multiple slices of meat. I'm going to stick with the sandwich creation here. Multiple slices of salami here. I don't want to slice it up, right? And any one of these assets can be the one that shoots out of the deal. The bottom's going to fall out. The opportunity is not going to be there. The thirds are not going to be, the thirds may not hit, right? So you better have a plan with those thirds. Hollywood could not be the wide receiver one. He could just be a week-to-week option, right? So I like everything on that side, like you said, but I think the easier place to park my money, the easier way just to move forward in the deal, just give me DK Metcalf in the second.
Yeah, you're going to go with the sandwich analogy. I'll give you a burger analogy, all right? Feels like what I like DK Metcalf, he's the burger, right? He's the actual meat, he's the patty, and he's everything. And you could trade him in, and you could trade him in, and you could trade it in for a bun, you could trade it in for a slice of lettuce, a slice of cheese, a tomato. But you know what you don't have anymore? The actual freaking burger. Right. I want the burger. If I just had the choice between eating that, whatever you just got, or just eating the burger raw, I'd still just eat the burger raw because I like red meat. It's what I do. And so I'm still just going to go with DK Metcalf. There's a lot of stuff on the other side, but whenever I order a burger, I expect the burger to still be there.
DK Metcalf is the ketogenic side of this deal. The 2025 second, you get a little bit of shake on the side. So I like the DK side of this one. I like what you did, but again, you sent away a lot of names that people like, and it made us pause. It made us think. This is a really well constructed deal, a good way to send stuff in a relatively shallow league to get into an asset that you can actually trust and sustain and park your money in a smarter place. So really, really good work there, Robbie Boss. Cody, we did it.
Oh, let's go.
We did it. Yeah, good work. Cody, tell the people what's going on. You and Chase are putting out banger after banger in this dead period of summer. So tell the people what you got going on, where they can find you. And thanks for coming on, my man.
Yeah, Fantasy Draft Room is the YouTube show. It's on a little bit of a hiatus right now. We'll probably pick back up once the actual season starts up here, but you'll get to start seeing more of these ugly mugs that we've got on the screen if you want to, whenever that happens. But obviously, Overreaction Pod is our bread and butter right now. Chase and I, every single Tuesday morning, we stay up till 2:30 Monday night recording that thing for y'all, so it gets out to y'all on Tuesday mornings. Absolutely grind, but it's a good, really, really good time. Big thing we got coming up, though, I'm going to start diving into 2024 projections now that we are coming out of the dead period. We've got rosters on the verge of getting cut down to 53 here in the next couple of weeks. So 2024 projections is probably where I'm going to be spending a lot of my dynasty time or fantasy football time in the next couple of weeks coming up on this.
My favorite part of the offseason is the Cody Smith projection season. It takes over voice chat. It puts me on a good line. It puts some of my expectations into reality. So, Cody, I appreciate the exercise from the bleachers. So thank you for doing that. And thanks for bringing all your little spicy takes on today's show. I appreciate it. Again, come on and join in. Patreon.com/ALLGAS. Come talk with me and Cody in voice chat all day, any day. DestinationDebbie.com for all articles, pods, everything dropping over there. Underdog, you know the deal. Get in there, deposit, get up to $250 back, get your special pick. You know what to do. If you like this, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education, whatever you found from this, hit the like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get whatever we got going live. Take care. All the best. Have a great one. We added this thing. Peace.